Connecticut roots.
I think it says a lot about the town, and I'm certainly proud of the town for that.
Gold medal dreams.
Now right-footed shoes.
It's a pretty big honor. It's unexpected.
It really is phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's so special.
Nutmeg State athletes going for gold in the Japan 2020 Olympics.
Even though I have the American record and I'm fastest of all time, I still am really trying to refine how the best way to swim that race.
We're counting down to the games. Connecticut natives vying to be the best in the world. And we welcome you to News 8's Japan 2020 Digital Special. Hi, everyone. I'm Rich Coppola. The Olympic cauldron is set to light up very soon, so let's get you ready for the games. Here's a live look right now at the Olympic Athletes Village in Tokyo. It's early in the morning there right now, 5 a.m. on Friday, opening ceremonies day. But there's been a lot of controversy surrounding COVID in the games, so let's take you through some of the latest headlines. A major shakeup with the opening ceremony set to take place within the day. Organizers have fired the director of the opening ceremony. Kentaro Kobayashi was ousted because of past jokes that he made about the Holocaust. Earlier this week, a composer whose music is expected to be used at the opening ceremony was forced to resign because of past bullying of his classmates. First Lady Jill Biden is in Tokyo ahead of the opening ceremony. The First Lady had dinner with Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga and his wife. This is Jill Biden's first solo international trip since becoming First Lady. And of course, she is leading the U.S. delegation at the Olympic Games. Meanwhile, more Olympic athletes benched at least 91 people testing positive for COVID in the Olympic bubble. Among the USA athletes who've tested positive and have been forced to withdraw, former UCONN women's basketball star Katie Lou Samuelson, who tested positive while training in Las Vegas and is fully vaccinated. She was supposed to take part in the first 3-on-3 competition at the Games. U.S. tennis player Coco Gauff has also tested positive for COVID-19, forcing her to pull out of the Tokyo Olympics. Gauff is the 25th ranked player in the world. Kara Aker, an alternate on the women's gymnastics team, also coming back positive for COVID. Precaution driving USA Gymnastics to a bold move. Team USA Gymnastics will not be staying in Olympic Village for the duration of the Games. So it's an Olympics unlike any other, with dressers unlike any other for those who are competing. News 8's Candy Rodriguez spoke with athletes from across the country to find out how they're coping with the pressure of Olympic success in the middle of a global pandemic.
From the initial postponement of the Games to the now daily COVID-19 test, it's been a long journey for Olympians vying for a gold medal this summer.
So it was kind of this super crazy roller coaster ride of things.
With many having their training interrupted by the pandemic, athletes faced a new challenge. Not only did they have to keep their body in shape an extra year, but they had to focus on their mental well-being.
Our minds are so unique and each case is so different. So I think it needs to be normalized that, like, yeah, anyone could really struggle with mental health.
For some, it's an ongoing battle. People like Team USA's boxer Jenny Fuchs, who has been open about living with OCD and the struggles that come with it. It's okay not to be okay, is what tennis star Naomi Osaka's Time magazine cover reads. Some here in Tokyo, they have support.
What helps me with nerves, anxiety, really, I'm fortunate because I have 8 other women that I'm racing with.
But others are on their own. People like 100-meter runner Fred Curley. He understands it can be tough, but he works to remind himself to never give up.
Keep pushing. It's always brighter days. It's always dark days, but no matter what, and keep on pushing. Don't give up on yourself.
In Tokyo, Candy Rodriguez, News 8.
So let's check out some Nutmeg State athletes. Now, there are 6 athletes from Connecticut, or athletes with Connecticut roots, competing in the Games. Liam Corrigan in the sport of rowing from Old Lyme. Also in the sport of rolling and also from Old Lyme, Austin Hack. Alyssa Nair, soccer star from Stratford. Alexis Sablone, skateboarding making its debut. She is from Old Saybrook. Kieran Smith, swimming from Ridgefield, and on the Paralympic team, Matthew Torres from Ansonia. Time to get to know the athletes now. We begin in Old Lyme, where 2 former high school rowers are in Japan. News 8's Tina Detel introduces us to both.
Old Lime's Austin Hack in that first seat, the stroke seat, at the World Championships 2 years ago, which earned the team their spot in the Olympics. Fast forward to June 2021, when he is now joined by fellow Old Lyme High School alum, Liam Corrigan.
It really is phenomenal, and I think it says a lot about the town, and I'm certainly proud of the town for that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's so special.
2 students from the same high school, I think, is almost unheard of.
Austin graduated from Old Lyme in 2010 and Liam in 2015, but they did have the same basketball and rowing coach, credited for at least leading Liam to the water.
And I think he knew that I was tall, probably wasn't going to make it too far in basketball, and convinced me to come out for the rowing team.
We caught up with Coach Louis Zubak.
It's crazy. I saw Austin and Liam as soon as I saw him.
Who said both were talented athletes in basketball and crew.
Their build is perfect for the sport to be successful, but in high school they were just so unique in how mature they were, how smart they were, how driven they were.
Austin is already pretty much a rowing legend here in town. As you can see, they have a boat named after him commemorating his first trip to the Olympics back in 2016. Tokyo will be his second.
Having gone to one Olympics, going fourth, I know that was pretty heartbreaking.
Heartbreak they hope to avoid as they train with the U.S. Olympic men's 8 in San Francisco, even taking hot yoga to prepare for Tokyo's heat.
It's a lot of work, and it is rewarding when it pays off.
A source of pride for this shoreline town.
We're hearing from people who've graduated years ago about how wonderful this is.
And well beyond. In Old Lyme, Tina Detel, News 8.
Thanks, Tina. And for the first time in the history of the Olympic Games, as I alluded to, skateboarding will be a sport feature this summer. 8 of the world's best skaters will represent Team USA, and one of them is from Connecticut. Alexis Sablone grew up in Old Saybrook. She graduated from Columbia, then went on to MIT, where she earned a master's degree in architecture. She's been all around the world thanks to skateboarding, and now she's going for Olympic gold.
I mean, I never thought I'd see skateboarding in the Olympics. You know, it has just kind of been my life, you know, but I don't think of it as a sport. It's something else for me. So it's a pretty big honor. It's unexpected for skateboarding, but it's happening, and I'm just trying to focus on being there and just trying to do my best.
80 skaters from 26 countries will hit the streets in Tokyo. And swimming will be one of the first sports coming up in the Olympic Games. It is a sport that takes a lot of dedication, long hours in the pool, coupled with dry land training. News 8's Ashley Baylor sat down with Ridgefield native Kieran Smith, who punched his ticket to Tokyo at trials in Omaha.
Kieran Smith has been swimming since he was 6 years old. Inspired by his brother, he has dedicated countless hours to honing his technique in the pool. He swam for the Ridgefield Aquatic Club, competing in the Eastern Zone Championships at the young age of 10. Several meets and championships later, his proudest moment came when he won his first international medal at the World Junior Championships in 2017.
That was my first major international medal. And really, that was my first major international competition. It was a big stepping stone for my career. I just wanted to go to the meet, and to come away with a silver medal is really exciting for me.
And that meet was a major stepping stone. It earned him a scholarship to the University of Florida and a spot on his first national team. As a Florida Gator, he has made quite a name for himself. Among many accolades, Kieran is a 14-time All-American and was also the 2020 SEC Swimmer of the Year and the 2020 SEC Champion in the 400 IM, 800 free, and 500 free. Kieran broke the American and NCAA record in the 500-yard free with an impressive time of 4 minutes 6 seconds at the 2020 SEC Championships. He tied that record again this year.
The first time I did it in my sophomore year in 2020, it was a really, really good feeling swim. I mean, that 2020 SECs, I still think it was like my best feeling meet of my life. It was really a breakout performance for me. And that was just like the best feeling race of my life, pretty much. And it happened to be a pretty fast one as well.
Even as an American record holder, he continues to perfect his technique, making sure he's ready to compete at the Olympic level.
Even though I have the American record and I'm fastest of all time, I still am really trying to refine how the best way to swim that race. Because both times I went 4:06, I don't think I swam a perfect race. In 2020, I kind of laid off the first 200. I kind of swam with the pack a little bit, and then I picked it up as the race got on. But this year, 2021, I took it out really aggressively, and I kind of faded off a little bit. And I'm still trying to figure out the best opening speed and how I'm going to build into the race.
He has been mentally and physically preparing for the Olympics ever since the first time he went to trials in 2016.
We kind of stand by the principle that swimming slow makes you fast.
We wish him the best of luck, and we'll be watching and cheering from New Haven. Ashley Baylor, News 8.
All right, and Ashley took a trip to meet Karen's former coach, Emmanuel Lanzo, at the Ridgefield Aquatic Club to see what it takes to churn out champion swimmers.
All right, but we're going to practice as long as we can.
Swimming is one of the most watched events in the Summer Olympics.
Go!
It is a grueling sport that takes years of training and discipline.
Good streamlines.
These swimmers at Ridgefield Aquatic Club know that discipline very well, swimming thousands of yards per day.
Work on little details. Good.
Sometimes in dual practices, one in the morning before school and another after school. But it's not just about how far they swim. Every swimmer needs to focus on their stroke.
Keep moving.
And to help them slow down and target their technique, they use fins, paddles, kickboards, and sometimes even snorkels. And it's lap after lap of perfecting their turns.
Approach your wall, knowing into your last stroke where the wall is.
And pushing off the wall with strong streamlines.
The fastest you can go after going off a block. Like you're going out, that speed, you decelerate because of drag. That's why you need to start kicking. But you can actually maintain that speed if you have a good streamline.
Coach Lanzo gave me a little refresher course on my streamline before I got back in the water for a medley relay with his future champions.
The 50, the 100s, and the relays. These are short sprints, and there is no room for error. Your stroke has to be fast, your turns have to be fast, and your start has to be fast.
The race is a lot quicker than a lot of people think. It's like less than 50 seconds. So it's over like that. You don't have any room for error.
ARSENIO Bustos of Woodbridge also competed at Olympic trials in June. While he didn't make the team this time, he knows the shorter events must be, well, nothing short of perfection.
100 freestyle at trials, there was like a quarter of a second or like half a second separating 16th from like 8th. And like, that's ridiculous. It's insane.
It's not only a physical sport, but a mental sport. Understanding how to swim a 100, a 200, or a 400.
I think the kid needs to understand the race, know what it requires, the tactics, how to, like I always call it, spread the butter to the corners, like understand the race. How do you swim 100? How, like knowing, the knowledge is the foundation of everything.
Before the race, when I'm kind of like visualizing, I try to really just focus on how I split the race, make sure I don't take it out too fast, make sure I don't take it out too slow, because I back half my 100 freestyle a lot more than most, so I don't really take it out too fast. But I come hard the last 50. So just making sure I'm like not in a position to where I'm too far out of the race to where I can't gain on everybody the last 50.
You're not going to embarrass me, man.
Perfect technique coupled with perfect pace, potentially earning a swimmer a place on the podium.
I always tell the kids, there is a time for you to be satisfied when the cameras are looking at you. That's it. Cameras are gone. Everything, you focus on what you need to do next time to get better.
And there's always room for improvement because, hey, even gold medal Olympians have coaches, right? We wish ARSENIO and all of those swimmers the best in the future. As for Kieran Smith, he is in Tokyo and will be competing in the 400-meter free on Saturday, the 200-meter free on Sunday, and the 4x200-meter free relay on Tuesday. Ashley Baylor, News 8.
So what does it take to be an Olympian? Joining me now to talk about it is two-time Olympian Donn CABRAL of Glastonbury. And Donn, thanks for being here this afternoon with us.
Yeah, thanks, Rich. Happy to be here. Wish I could be there in person.
Yeah, I do too. But Donn, let's go back a little bit. You had an unbelievable collegiate career at Princeton. You won the 2012 NCAA title. How much did competing in the World Junior Championships around that time help you get to London in 2012, your first Olympic appearance?
So I competed in the World Junior Championships 4 years before the Olympics, and that was really my first exposure to international racing and to traveling with Team USA. So that it was really helpful. It was good to experience what it's like to be around the best, 24/7 leading up to a big race. And it's nerve-wracking is the long and short of it.
Oh, I would think, and I was going to say, because you're competing against great collegians, all of a sudden you're competing against greats from everywhere, right?
Yeah. And I mean, so at the end of college, I was an NCAA champion and I was feeling pretty good about myself. And then a couple weeks later, I was in the Olympic Village, and the best athletes in the world are just sitting at the lunch table next to me, and that's a tough transition to make for sure.
Intimidating, right? Hey, Donnie, as we get closer, take us behind the curtain, if you will. What are the obligations that athletes must meet right now as they get so close to the actual competition? What are those obligations and things that they have to do? And do they practice a lot at this point, or is it just kind of fine-tuning?
For the most part, the athletes are going to their practices, but they're all pretty light. Even the athletes that aren't competing toward the end of the games, everything's pretty light at this point. But the obligations are a little onerous. At the Olympics, the biggest thing that you have to get used to as an athlete is waiting around. As part of the U.S. track and field team, which is the biggest team in any sport in the Olympics, so many athletes, to shepherd all the people to the opening ceremonies or to team practices or whatever, it just takes a lot of time. So you have to always be ready to, when they tell you to show up at 2 o'clock to go to this thing, you show up at 2 o'clock and then you just stand there and mill about for 45 minutes until everyone's gathered. And so there's a ton of waiting, a ton of obligations with media. Media's a good thing, but everything that goes into putting on a successful Olympics.
Yeah, a lot of hurry up and wait. Tell me what you found to be the most challenging. Were there nerves knowing, again, that you're competing against the best in the world? Was the travel difficult? What was the hardest part for you?
I think the hardest part for me is probably the break in routine. So usually with competition, you're used to showing up with your same teammates, or you practice with the same people, your coach is there, the venues, whatever. The Olympics, I mean, your time zone's off, your food is different, the people you're around are different, and there's just this distraction around you all the time for days leading up to your competition. So to deal with all this change and distraction takes so much focus on the task at hand that's really where the benefit of experience comes in.
I've seen other videos with you in the past and about the mental aspect to doing any sport, but certainly your sport. But the one thing I think in any sport you've got to put out of your mind is injury, especially before the games get there and you're practicing or working out. Was that something that ever popped into your mind, or did you just have to put it outside of your mind?
Yeah, I think injury is something where you try to think about it as much as you can in practice, right? Try to stay healthy, try to do things with the purpose of not pushing your body beyond the right limit. But once you start getting too close to competition, then you have to start thinking, all right, I don't care what's wrong with my body. I'm going to perform as best as I can. I don't care how my Achilles feels and shins hurt, whatever. So once the games start coming close, you just remember that at the end of the day, it's so important to me to cross that line as fast as I can, and I don't care what gets in the way.
Absolutely. Donnie, one last question. You're still a very young man, 31 years old, still doing exciting things, including a big exam you have coming up next week. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I got a couple days till the bar exam here. So just finished law school and studying for that. And once that's done, hopefully I've taken 3 weeks off running right now. So I'll get back into running, and we'll see what running has in store for me in life after the bar exam.
All right, Don, you're in Philadelphia currently, right?
Currently in Philadelphia, yep.
All right, Don, well, listen, we wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. And again, good luck moving forward, and congratulations on all of your success.
Thanks, Rich. Good talking to you.
Thanks, Don. And from track and field to baseball, former big league baseball player from Connecticut will be playing in the Olympics later this month. Former Hamden Hall pitcher Josh Zeid will be playing for Team Israel. Earlier this month, he threw out the first pitch at a Hartford Yard Goats game. Team Israel played a couple of exhibition games there, and the 34-year-old pitched for the Houston Astros for 2 seasons. In November of 2019, he obtained Israeli citizenship to pitch for Team Israel, and he leaves for Japan coming up.
It's an honor to represent the country of Israel, to be a member of an Olympic baseball team. I couldn't be any more thrilled. It's just been it's been a whirlwind of a ride. It feels like this continuously keeps happening. I get away and then I come back, and I go away, I come back, and it's the game I love, and it's the group of guys that I love, and I can't say I'm going to do this forever, but it's an honor to be able to do it every day, come back and keep fighting.
Zeid now lives in Phoenix and works for the Chicago Cubs organization. 5 former UConn women's basketball players have been selected to the 2020 U.S. Olympic women's basketball team. Team USA announcing earlier on Sue Bird, Tina Charles, Nafisa Collier, Brianna Stewart, and Diana Taurasi are in Tokyo. Now, this will be the 5th Olympics for both Bird and Taurasi. Their former coach weighed in on the selection.
Well, I hope they win because I think they'll be the first ever 5-time gold medal winners in basketball. The fact that at their age, they can still be that impactful, that says a lot about their love for the game, their passion for the game, their sacrifice for the game, the discipline that they've had to live their lives a certain way that allows them to be this productive at that age. That's a great lesson to a lot of kids.
Obviously, all-time UConn greats. Bird is 40 years old, Taurasi 39. Team USA has won gold for the last 6 Olympic Games. And check this out. Sue Bird gracing the cover of Time magazine as the anchor of Team USA. She's been chosen to be one of the flag bearers for the team, along with USA baseball infielder Eddie Alvarez.
It's an incredible honor. To be honest, it's one that I don't even know if I've fully digested it yet. It was pretty shocking when I heard, and I don't know, the thought of other athletes being the ones to pick the flag bearer, being the ones that chose myself and chose Eddie, makes the honor that much more special. But also that we'll be leading, the entire USA delegation into opening ceremonies. There's something really special, and I know firsthand because I got to be right behind Dawn when she did it in 2004, and it's one of my favorite memories. So all in all, it's going to be amazing, and like I said, I'm incredibly honored.
Bird was referring right there to Basketball Hall of Famer and 3-time Olympic gold medalist Dawn Staley, who carried the flag back in 2004. Ralph Lauren is making an alteration to Team USA outfits that the flag bearers will wear during the Tokyo Summer Olympic game opening ceremonies. The company has added built-in personal air conditioning systems to the white jackets. It's special technology that uses a fan at the back of the neck. The rest of Team USA will wear tailored navy blazers made of wool. A couple of Olympics watch parties to tell you about, both of them happening in our capital city. The Hartford Chamber of Commerce is hosting an Olympics opening ceremony viewing party tomorrow at Parkville Market. Is from 5 to 9 p.m. Parkville Market has 21 restaurants with worldwide cuisine. They'll be offering $2 and $3 bites representing their countries. There's also going to be a raffle to win bronze, silver, and gold level prizes. And another opening ceremony watch party happening on Pratt Street in Hartford tomorrow. It'll be a viewing party on a large inflatable screen. A live stream of the opening ceremony will start at 8:30 p.m. after the sun is set. Guests are encouraged to rock their red, white, and blue gear to cheer on Team USA and bring blankets, chairs, and pillows. Those who want to hit the street early to get a spot will be treated to live music as well as drink specials. Well, thanks for joining us for this Japan 2020 digital special. Good luck to all of the Connecticut athletes competing in the Olympics. To find out more about them or for the latest on the games, just head on over to our website, WTNH.com, or download our free News 8 app.